Good evening, everyone. I, Om Prakash, we welcome the speaker, Mr. Hari Shankar, and all other members to the seventh session of our Space Talk series. Our speaker, Mr. Hari Shankar, is the founder and CEO of Heuristic Innovation, which is a space-based startup company which provides innovative solutions and ideas to remove space debris. Now I hand over the session to our speaker, Mr. Hari Shankar, to share his views in space debris and its threats. Thank you.
So hi, hello. So hi everyone. Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening,
Can you hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir, audible.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, guys. Okay. Good evening. Thanks, Chef KCT, for meeting me. I'll just I'm repeating now. I'll just check it out. Can you see my screen? Okay. Yeah. So thank you. So let's start. So I'm Mali Shankar. I'm the founder and CEO of the company called Aerostic Innovation. So basically, our company is located at Chennai. The company was started before 3 years. So initially, the company was built to work on R&D, but due to lack of funds, we started to work on workshops, like to do a model rocketry and then satellite workshop for the school and colleges. So after 3 years, once we got the funds, we started to get back to the R&D work, which is on space debris removal. So basically, okay, our works goes for three things. So one is like space debris removal and mitigation to build our own antenna, and then a STEM program for the school, and then college students. So as a part of our R&D work, we started to build our own customized boards. So for satellites and then for rocket things. So this image shows one of our antenna tracking system. So we tracked few satellites like Ravana 1, the first satellite of Sri Lanka, Nepali Sat 1. Okay, so this is what the data we got from the Ravana 1 satellite. So throughout this, okay, for the next 30 minutes to 40 minutes, we're going to see a lot of terms. So these are common terms, okay, which you're going to see, like space debris, pollution, track, anti-satellite missiles, NORAD ID, TLD, mitigation, ADR. Okay, so in the coming PPTs, you'll get to know what all these things. So basically, we all know that in this current world, from 57 to 8 possible looking.
Sir, your voice is not able to hear.
Okay. Yeah. Just wait a minute. I'll just wait. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Now it's audible.
Okay. Okay, sure. So my question is that from 1957 till today, any guesses how many we have launched satellites all over the world? If you know the answers, okay, you can drop in the chat box.
Sir, I think it is 2000 plus.
2000 plus. If you take only, uh, only the SpaceX, within a span of 6 months, they have launched close to 500 satellites.
Yes, sir.
So then, how come only less satellites? So yeah, it is close to 8,000 satellites, more than that. Okay. So what is space debris? Okay, there were like a lot of questions happening. Okay, when we started our company, okay, we said that we're going to work on space debris. We got a lot of questions. Okay, so debris is nothing but garbage. So people started to ask us. We have a lot of garbage in the earth. Okay, maybe in the land or in the sea. Why you want to spend more amount of money to clean the space garbage? Why can't you start to clean first the garbage in the land and in the sea so that we can live more safe for many years? We answered them that yes, sir, you are right. Okay, we need to check out the garbages in the land and in the sea, but if you're not gonna take care of the debris in the space, we're gonna go back 50 years back if something goes wrong in the space. What can happen in the space, okay, if the garbages get increases? This is a picture of our Earth just with the launch of only 4 satellites, like Sputnik 1, Sputnik 2, and then like Vanguard 1 satellites. Okay, only from the 4 satellites we got close to like 6 debris, so 6 to 7 debris. Just check the image now. This is the current looking of Earth with lot of satellites. Okay, it includes satellites, debris, rocket bodies, everything completely. So just imagine the difference between the space objects in 1960s and in 2017 now. So I think by this GIF image, you all must know about the movie called Gravity movie. So whatever happened in the Gravity movie, is it possible to occur in the future? Yeah, it is possible to occur in the future. Okay, so what is space debris? It's nothing but the dead satellites, leftover rocket bodies, that is third stage of the rockets, leftover astronaut tools. Do you know one thing? Before 2 months, NASA astronauts made a spacewalk. During that time, they left a tool by mistakenly. NASA has given an interview that don't worry, nothing won't happen. But few of the people got angry. They said that maybe now it won't create any issue, but in the future, surely the tool will make a lot of damages. Okay, the picture shows a person called Donald J. Kessler. He was a NASA scientist and was the first person to speak about space debris. Okay, he was the first person to say if you're going to launch more and more amount of satellites and rocket to the space, there's going to be a collision going to occur in future. So just think and then launch. But during that time, none of the space companies has listened to him. They just thought that when something occurs, we'll check to it. Till then, they waited. And bad luckily, the events has occurred one by one. So this graph shows the increase in the satellites in the LEO, MEO, GEO orbits. So LEO is nothing but the lower Earth orbit. It stands between 200 to 2000 kilometers. So the red color bars shows there's a more amount of satellites and the space objects in the LEO orbit. the rough data says that there are more than 17,000 catalog objects. So you can ask the question like, we are launched only. Okay, so as per the people said that we have launched only 8,000 satellites. Then how come the catalog data says there are more than 17,000 objects? How could they know there are this many objects? Can you say? We know that all the space companies launched only close to 8,000 satellites. But how come the catalog object says there are 17,200 objects? Any guesses?
Hello.
Yeah.
So the rockets are launched according to stages. So each rocket consists of at least 3 stages. So by that way, the debris count will be higher, even if a single rocket is launched.
Okay, yeah, okay. So as per your thing, okay, only the third stage will go to the space, right? Okay, remaining the first and second stage will go back to the Earth as soon as possible. So only the third stage will go to the space. So even, okay, if you consider in that way, maybe close to 12,000. Yeah, okay, we'll see, okay, in the next slides. So before 10 years, UNO has called all the countries, okay, which all have the space companies, to conduct a meeting. Under UNO, there's a separate body called as United Nations Space Object, okay. So they called and then they were talking about this space debris issue. UNO was asking all the countries that at one point of time, there are going to be a lot of debris. Who's going to remove the debris? Okay, but we all know that Russia, US, and China launched many satellites. So, but these three countries doesn't open the mouth. India, France, Japan, they said that only America, Russia, and US has launched many satellites. So why we should go and remove the debris? So, okay, so this country said that we don't have any problem, okay, because they said that we didn't launch those satellites. It was all launched by the America, Russia, and China. So we won't remove those satellites. Next, America and Russia, they stood up and then they said, yeah, we accept, we launched this, okay, all these satellites. But you people got benefited from these satellites. So you can't blame us. So we won't remove the satellites. You got benefited, so you should be the one to remove the satellites. Still, the fight is going on at the UNO that who's going to remove these satellites. Okay, both the countries are saying that we launched, you benefited, so we won't remove. India, France are saying that we didn't launch, so we won't remove. This fight is going for past 10 years. No one is accepting them, okay, issue and then going forward. A survey conducted by European Space Agency in February 2020, it says, till now we have launched close to 5,560 rockets. Among them, we have launched 9,600 satellites. Among them, only 5,000 on the space. Among the 5,000, only 2,000 are the working satellites. So remaining all are debris. And you know one thing, within next 2 to 3 years, this number is going to get into double. As we all know that SpaceX, Blue Origin, and then like Samsung, Lenovo, OneWeb, all these 4 companies, they're going to launch many satellites for the internet. Okay, already SpaceX has started to launch their satellites. They plan to launch close to 10,000 satellites. SpaceX only. Blue Origin, okay, the company backed by the Amazon, they have planned to launch 1,362 satellites. So just imagine this number is going to get to double and triple within another 2 to 3 years. So in this graph, just check out clearly between the year of 2007 to 2011. Within this 3 years, debris count has got increased. Any idea how come? Just check the graph between 2007 to 2011. The debris count has got increased. Because there has been accidental collision between two satellites occurred in I think in 2007. One, the Iridium satellite belongs to the America, Cosmos belongs to the Russia. These two satellites came into the same orbit and collided each other. This collision has made close to 1,719 objects, which is trackable till now, okay? And untrackable objects are many more. This debris not only attacked satellites, they also attacked Hubble Space Telescope. I think you all know, I think HST, okay, I think in the last lecture, I think they were spoke about Hubble Space Telescope. So the debris also went and attacked the solar panels of the Hubble Space Telescopes. While performing the spacewalks, astronauts accidentally they dropped these screwdrivers, gloves, lot of things in the space. Even those have become this space debris now. Before ISS, we have two more space stations called as Skylab and then Mir space stations. The Mir space station got collided with one of the, I think with the Cosmos, okay, rocket. So they wanted to bring back the Mir back to the Earth. Do you know one thing? Even the International Space Station, after its time period, we're going to bring back the ISS part by part back to the Earth. Okay, we can't bring the complete ISS back to the Earth. Okay, already ISS deadline was 2020. Okay, but now America has increased the deadline to 2025. So after 2025, they're going to remove part by part of the ISS, and then they're going to bring it back. But back means they're going to deorbit back to the Earth while coming. To the Earth, it completely becomes into ash. Okay, because it's bad. Fine. Okay. In 2007, China has conducted an anti-satellite missile test to attack their own satellite. This test has increased more number of debris. No one could have expected. When I was saying this about this anti-satellite missile test, could you remember one thing? Last year, in the month of March, India has conducted a mission called Mission Shakti to attack our own satellite. Is it legal or illegal? Last year, in the month of March, DRDO and ISRO has conducted a mission called Mission Shakti. There's an anti-satellite missile which we plan to attack our own satellite at the LEO orbit. It is legal or illegal?
It would be illegal.
Why illegal? Legal or illegal?
It can cause more harm.
Okay. Do you remember, so after this test, the government has said that after this attack, all the debris will come back within a span of 2 months, right? But when this attack has occurred, we people just started to track the debris, and we got shocked that whatever the government has said, that the debris will come back to the earth in span of 2 months, that was lie. Do you know one thing? The last piece of the debris from this test will come back on 2035. There are still more 10 debris in the space. These are the leftover debris from the Mission Shakti test. So there are like close to 10 debris are still in the space now. The last piece of the debris. Yeah, okay, when you say trackable debris, okay, I'll just say, okay, how it's tracked, okay, in the upcoming slides, I'll just say. So, then we got to track all this thing, okay, so just remember the thing called a NORAD ID, okay, so I'll just say how we can track these things. So, people around the world, they started to track. When this attack has happened, there have been like I think close to 400 pieces of debris has occurred. Among those 400 debris, now 10 more debris are left in the space. And the last piece will come by 2035. And after this test, if you remember, NASA has given an interview by saying that whatever the ISRO and DRDO has done, they made a big mistake. Do you know why? NASA has given interviews by saying that whatever the ISRO and DRDO did by launching the own missile to attack the one satellite was the biggest mistake they made. Because these debris has went to the orbit of International Space Station. Among those 10 debris, 5 debris are at the altitude of 500 to 2,000 kilometers. So that's why NASA has given an interview by saying that you have made a mistake by doing this test. Why? Okay, see, already China has made this test. Then why come now NASA is targeting ISRO by giving an interview that we made a mistake? Because debris can be of any size, maybe from 0.1 millimeter to bigger than 10 meters. Okay, the impact going to be more heavier because they travel 7 to 8 kilometers per second in space. Okay, speed in space. Okay, we all seen a movie called Gravity, right? Okay, so those debris can penetrate into your body and then they can come out of your body. So that's why they were afraid. NASA was afraid this because those debris can attack the ISS and can make lot of issues. And these are the few of the PSLV rockets, okay, as you all said, there can be rocket bodies in the space. So these are the third stage of the PSLV rockets, which was launched long before in 1999, which will come back to the Earth only in December 2020. So it takes close to 20 years to come back now. So just check what is going to occur again. Okay. So you all asked this question, like how you can track the debris? How are debris tracked? So as you all said that in space, we can track any space object bigger than 10 centimeter. Okay. We have people called NORAD and then international designators. These two people give numbers. Okay. So they have the radars all around the world, including even India has a radar called as MOTR. It's called as Multi-Object Tracking Radar. So with the help of all these radars, they give each and every object one number. So by that number, they can track those debris. For example, last year, ISRO has launched a Cartosat 3. Okay, for that, they're given an ID called as 2019, that represents the year of launch. 081A. 081 says the 81st launch in that year. A represents payload. If it is B, that means a rocket body. So 2019 represents the year of the launch. 081 represents the number of launch in the year. A represents the payload. If it is B, then it is called as rocket bodies. Next comes the NORAD ID. It says 44,804. So the Cartosat 3 is the 44,804th object in the space they are tracking in the radar. While re-entry, some debris survive and crash on the land. But till today, no one has been dead by hit by the debris. There's no case till today a person has died by hit by the debris. So there are movies which says about space debris. One thing you know already is Gravity. There's a movie called as Antariksham. And the different Telugu movie, not the complete movie, only a part of the movie says about the space debris issue. Where they sent humans to do a spacewalk and then to control the collision between two satellites. There are few techniques where you can prevent from space debris. One is like collision avoidance. So with the help of the radar, I said right, with the help of the, what's the name of the movie? I'll just show the, it's Gravity and then Antariksham, 9,000 km/h. First is the English movie and second is the Telugu movie called Antariksham. So next, there are few techniques where we can escape from the space debris. Last year, in September, European Space Agency satellite and Starlink, they came into the same orbit. By tracking, we can predict the object's path maximum of 10 days. Yeah, sure, I'll share the PPT. I'll do one thing, I will answer all these questions at the ending so that we can go further. So one thing is like we have a thing called as avoidance system message. It's called as ASM. It helps. Before the 10 days, it gives a message to us that there will be collision between two satellites. This is called MOTR, which we have at Sriharikota at our launch pad. So multi-object tracking radar is used. This radar can track close to 10 objects at a time. If you remember, before for 4 years, ISRO has planned to launch PSLV at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But they have changed the time to 2 p.m. Just 2 minutes other than the launch. Do you know why? Because at that point of time, there was some debris moving above the line of sight. So they wanted to move the time to 2 p.m. They already have planned to launch at 2 p.m. But they got a message that there is a cloud of debris passing above the launch pad. So change the time. So they changed the launch time to 2 p.m. So there's a method called as net capture method. So till now, none of the company has came forward to remove the debris. except few companies like Astroscale from Japan, Clean Space, ClearSpace from Europe, and then a company called Momentus from US. These are the companies as came forward to remove the debris. Okay, so this idea belongs to a company called Clean Space. And okay, there's more idea called as to tethering method, but this method is not yet proved. Solar sail method, okay, is already under testing now, but hope it works. No idea, okay, whether it's gonna work or not. This is called as space argon method, kind of like bow and arrow technique. It's already tested this year, okay. UK has tested this technique this year, so maybe by next year starting they will go for the space to capture the debris. And robotic arm technique. So currently there are only 3 techniques which is possible. One is a robotic arm, net capture, and then like adhesive technique. Adhesive, okay, it's a kind of a gum technique. Okay, it's a kind of a gum where you can capture the debris. If we're not gonna think about debris removal, this is how the earth gonna look in 2200. If you're gonna take actions to remove the debris, then we can have at least a clear amount of space to go further. Okay, I hope, okay, I think I covered almost few things. And now coming to our company, okay, so what our company is doing for this space debris. So we are also one among the company where we are trying to mitigate and remove the debris. Okay, as if now we are working on our own satellite building. We hope we'll complete our satellite building by next year end, and we plan to test our capturing technique within another close to I think close to 18 months. Maximum by 2022 March, we will test our techniques to capture the debris. We will disclose more about our idea and about the company maybe later, not now, okay, because okay, we are currently under work with few other organizations, so we can't say more about our things. And currently, okay, we are hiring interns and few of the employees with the background of ECE, EEE, mathematics, physics, and coding people. Okay, if you're interested, okay, you can just. Okay. So the questions comes now. When you say trackable debris, our debris tracked. So I said that, okay, we use radar, and then we have given an ID to all the objects in space bigger than 10 centimeters. In terms of the space depth, do you think reusable launch vehicle could be a great help? Yeah, of course. Okay, SpaceX is doing good work now. Okay, do you know one thing? Okay, currently SpaceX is launching more amount of satellites for the internet. Even today, I think at 8:20 UTC, one of the Starlink satellites gonna be coming back to the Earth. See, if SpaceX is launching 60 satellites per launch, among the 60 satellites, 5 satellites become into dead satellites due to some error. Okay, in all the launches of SpaceX, there have been flaws of 5 satellites is getting dead in all the launches. So today, Starlink satellite number 40 is going to get deorbited back to the Earth at today 8:20 UTC. If you convert it into IST, then 9:20, 10:20, 11:20, 12:20, 1:20. It's supposed to like 1:40. Tomorrow 1:40. What stream in aerospace should I pursue a career in this? See, okay, space is a kind of a place where you can be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or a physics student, architecture, because space is a broad
area where all get the chance to be a scientist or or can work in this in this field. Sir, can you tell me some resource of or research papers where this more is explained is done? Okay, Abhik, do one thing. Okay, just drop me a message. Okay, that's my WhatsApp number. I'll just share you all the things to you. Any object less than, yeah, of course. Okay, size. See, everything is considered as a debris, but the problem is debris lesser than 10 centimeter is untrackable. So it doesn't mean that they are debris. Okay, of course they also call us debris, but the issue is that we don't have that much amount of high technology to track those small debris. What if the debris change their orbit as we know that they are very harmful? See, debris change the orbit when they get collide with another debris. Yeah, of course. Okay. See, the debris. See, there's one thing. Whatever goes to the space, that should come back to the Earth one day. Okay. If just imagine we are launching a satellite to a height of 400 kilometers. When the satellite is dead, it will take 10 years to come back to the Earth. Okay, so whatever goes to space, okay, their orbit get reduced step by step. So there can be a satellite or debris. Everything, the orbit gets changed for the time. So in the PPT you showed some techniques being used. Okay, all this technology and techniques are about to be used, except this open technique. Okay, except this, remaining techniques are just proposed ideas. They are about to be tested in the upcoming years. Maybe like Astroscale, a company from Japan, they are about to launch their satellite. I think this year ending. Okay, so they are trying to remove debris this year, maximum by ending. I agree, but an undergraduate in aeronautical engineering looking to pursue a master's in aerospace, what comes in major play study of space debris. Yeah, okay, for space debris, it goes maximum on astrodynamics and then GNC. It's nothing but guidance, navigation and control. Okay, so you want both astrodynamics and then GNC things. Sir, you skipped the question. Vivek, can you put your question again back, please? What will you do for the debris which are very far away from us? Out of reach debris. How do you track? Is there any possibility to bring it back? So, already we said, okay, we have most harmful debris only in the LEO orbit. So, the maximum people are tracking only the LEO orbit debris, which are, okay, because, okay, as we all said already, LEO is the most polluted area, the two between the orbit of 500 to 1,000 kilometers is considered as one of the most polluted area, which has more amount of satellites and debris. Where should be the space dumped? Okay. If the debris is in the geo orbit, that is, okay, higher than 30,000 kilometers, they put it to an orbit called as graveyard orbit. Okay, there's a thing called as graveyard orbit above the geo orbit. But the satellites in the LEO orbit, they should be deorbited and bring it back to the Earth. There's no other way you can, because if debris at a height of 400 kilometers, you can't take the debris to the higher altitude. It is more riskier. So, only option is that you capture and then deorbit it back to the Earth. So, what about the debris of less than 10 centimeter? So, yeah, okay. So, before the launching of any satellite, they need to contact FAA, Federal Aviation, okay, authorities, they need to get the permissions first. Okay, so they check with the authorities called, okay, as I said earlier, like NORAD ID, NORAD. Okay, so they just check with, okay, with all the data, and then they give them a perfect, okay, clear orbit. If for example, if you take the Blue Origin company, okay, which is backed up by the Amazon, they took the permission from FAA and NORAD that they can launch the satellite at an altitude of 501 kilometers, 1,310 kilometers. Okay, so they got their own orbits. Okay, so where they can launch their satellites and then they can use the free internet. And how do the new satellites enter it, which are designed to mitigate the debris? See, okay, space is like vast. So surely, okay, we have more amount of space as is now. But when the Starlink, Blue Origin, Samsung, Lenovo, OneWeb, when this company is going to launch more amount of satellites, then we need to consider about the debris. As if now, we are safe, maybe like for the next 5 years, 2 to 3 years, okay. So after that, we need to surely consider about the debris. What about the graveyard orbits, sir? How do these satellites go through them? Okay. Satellite, okay, have enough amount of fuel, okay, or the leftover fuel on the satellite. So with the help of the leftover fuel, they raise the orbit from GEO to the graveyard orbit. So the satellite in the LEO and MEO orbit, they can't be raised because, okay, in the LEO orbit, we have more amount of CubeSats, okay, cube and nanosatellites, okay. Maximum amount of CubeSat and nanosats has no engine to operate, okay. So there's no option that they need to come back to the Earth again. When you think about the bigger satellites, for example, like Cartosat, okay, or that can be like IRNS, whatever it is, okay, they have engine, okay. So step by step, they can fire the engine and then they can deorbit back to the Earth safely. See, debris can be, see, the main issue is that if the satellite is dead completely, you can't operate them. If there is a leftover fuel on the satellite, we can use the engines and then bring back them back to the Earth. It is, okay, it is called as controlled re-entry. Okay, by controlling the satellite manually, we can bring them safely back to the Earth. But however, when it gets into the atmosphere, it becomes into ash. Only few of the leftover parts land on the land. So I think, okay, I answered all the questions. If anything is missed, if anything I have missed, so drop me again. Sorry.
Sir,
If you have any doubts, okay, if any doubts,
Sir.
you can contact me. Okay, that's my number. Yeah.
sir, for burning oxygen is required, no, sir?
Yeah. See, okay, they have. See, currently we have a lot of engines now. There's a company at Italy now. It's called as D-Orbit. Okay, the company is called as D-Orbit company at Italy. So they have designed a new kind of engines, which is mainly built for CubeSats. Okay, they use like thermal engines, thermal, okay, and then like pulsar, okay. They're using like a lot of engines now, designed now. So by using this, okay, they are bringing back those satellites.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, I also have another doubt that um, when when rockets go into space, they push the air below and they go up, sir. But in space, how do they go in the direction they want, sir?
See, okay. See, rockets won't take the satellite to the still to the so rockets won't go to the extreme altitude. Okay, so they drop the satellites at this certain altitude. For example, think, okay, the satellite dropped the, oh, sorry, okay, the rocket dropped the satellite at altitude of 50 kilometers. Okay, so the satellites has thrusters, engines, and there's a thing called as ADCS. Okay, it's called as attitude determination control system. Okay, with the help of all these things, they control the satellite and then they take it to the fixed orbit. For example, okay, just think about the Chandrayaan mission. Okay, take the Chandrayaan 2 mission, Chandrayaan 2 or Chandrayaan 1, or even the Mangalyaan 1. The same way, they increase the orbit of the satellite step by step. Okay, so they won't go to the orb. See, if for example, just imagine you want to put a satellite at altitude of 50 kilometers. The rocket won't take the satellite to the, okay, so the rocket won't take it to that altitude. The rocket can go only to a certain altitude and then they drop the satellite at that altitude. So the onboard engines, they use the fuel within, okay, the fuel and then the ADCS, thrusters, everything. And then they go to the 50 kilometers, okay, they go step by step. Sir, can you tell about hydrofuel? Sorry, okay, I don't know, okay, more about those, okay, those techniques. Okay, I think there's a company in, I think, Europe, they are using water thrusters. Okay, they are trying to use water thruster to propel the satellites. Okay, I'll just check and then I'll let you know. Okay, just drop a message, okay, on the WhatsApp. I'll just check what all is thing, okay, and then I'll send you. I think there are like 2 are there, okay. When people ask me the PPT and Satya Karthikeyan, you asked me like debris. See, okay, Satya, okay, do one thing. Either you can study in, okay, at India, otherwise there's a college called International Space University at France. Okay, and they're like, okay, and they're like a lot of colleges all around the world where we can get, okay, more idea. Okay, so just check for the college called as ISU, International Space University, France. And okay, that's okay, and okay, and like one more thing. You get, do you know one thing? People can see the satellite pass in the night sky. Do you know that? After the sunset, before the sunrise, okay, you can just see satellites passing above the sky, okay, just like a star, okay, it passes away. So if you don't know that, you can use, okay, there are a few apps like ISS detector and then events above, ISS detector, events above, okay, you can get these apps both in, okay, Play Store and then App Store, okay, you can download, put your location, and then you can see the satellite passes above your sky, just like a star moving from north to east or east to west, wherever it is. And, okay, if you want to track any new satellites, you can go to the website called as, okay, I'll just put the message here in the chat. It's called, okay, n2yvo.com. Okay. At this website, you can track all the satellites launched by all the countries, okay, starting from America till Bangladesh and Nepal, okay, you can track all the satellites, but for that you want to know the satellite name first. Okay, if you know the satellite name, you can just, okay, search for the satellite name. It shows where this country located, at what date and time it will pass above you. What does it push and go forward in space? See, okay, one thing is thrusters and then ADCS. Okay, in ADCS we have like magnetic torque, everything. So those help us to push the satellite forward. I tried to see it just without naked eyes, but I tried with my mobile camera. I saw only one bright object to my mobile cam. It's that ISS. On what day when? I tried to see just without naked eyes. Yeah, okay. See, those passes can be seen through naked eye itself, okay. If you want to take a picture, then you can go for mobile cam, okay, where you can put the exposures, okay, and then you can capture the pass of the of those ISS. Because as we know that per day ISS takes around 16 orbits per day. So surely at least one day once you can see ISS for sure. Not only the ISS, even you can see the many satellites. Even we've seen. Do you know one thing? These things, right? SpaceX satellites, Starlink satellites, Starlink. So they go like a train. Because you can see like 10 objects going line by line. So for that, you can do one thing. Just go to the Starlink's official website and then put your location. It says at what time and date. You can see the train of satellites. Because there'll be like close to like 10 to 15 satellites going linely, back to back on the same line. Floating means what? What means floating? Floating of what? If they are floating, won't they disturb the working satellites? Floating means, I'm asking about the debris of these satellites. Surya. Hello? So what is saying,
Sir?
Floating, yeah.
Sir, sorry, sir. I'm a school student, so I had online class. I attended at 4:45 only, sir. So.
No, sir. Surya, do one thing, again, just take my number, you can drop me a message. If you want, if you have any doubts, you can just ask me, I'll just drop to the WhatsApp, no issues.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Hope I answered all the questions. If you have any doubt, you can ask now or you can message in the WhatsApp. Any more questions? Oh, thank you. But I don't feel I did the best today. But anyway, thanks. I think I left many things to be said. That takes a long time. If you want to take about the if you want to talk about the debris, it takes a long time. Because you want to talk about like NORAD ID, TLE, what is NORAD ID, how you can put the NORAD ID. Then like softwares which you can use to get the data. Yeah, sure, Nikhil. I'll send the PPT. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, see, it doesn't mean I want to wait till for next section. If you have any questions, you can drop me the mail or the WhatsApp. And do one thing, just create the awareness to the people, If someone says, why are you wasting money on the space, why you want to like launch more satellites, just say them, in this lockdown, if they are happy, because, if it is then, because it won't be, if it is then, because only through satellites, because through satellite only we got internet, Netflix, everything. If it is, if nothing is working there, this lockdown will be something like doom day for us, doom year for us. Thanks to satellites, which gives a lot of things to us to know about everything.
I, on behalf of SRS KCT, want to thank and extend my gratitude to the speaker, Mr. Hari Shankar, for joining us on Space Talk series. Feedback link is in the chat box. Kindly fill it to receive your certificate.
Surya, I don't know about those things. If you want, I can take. If you want separately, I can. I'll talk with you. About all these things.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So don't worry. Just ask them. Yeah. If they upload the video, no issues. Just give me a call. I will talk with you about these issues. No issues. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And okay, if you want, okay, so people, if you want like internships, okay, to work on this field with us, so hopefully we are planning to launch by next year ending. Okay, so we want more people to work with us, like interns, even people from a different field, from physics, mathematics, aeronautical, astrodynamics, okay, like ENTC, triple E. So if you're interested, just drop us a mail your resumes.
Now the feedback link is available in the chat box. Please fill it to receive your certificate.
Om, can I take a leave?